Hi, Mr. Jobs. I love my new iPhone 4. Nice work. But when I put my hand on the steel bands, I lose all reception. It appears to be a common issue. Are there any plans to fix this? Just avoid holding it that way, dummy. That was very useful, Mr. Jobs. Thank you for the handy tip. For context, that was a rare instance where Steve Jobs replied directly to a customer complaint that had been emailed to him. And you know, his response is pretty similar to how today's Apple CEOs responds to complaints. Some dude at like a conference said that he can't send his mom certain videos because of Apple's crap compatibility with Android phones. And Tim Cook was like, just buy your mom an iPhone, doofus. Very standard stuff here. We know they are not going to do anything to make it easier to leave Apple's walled garden. Hi again, guys. And not long ago on Twitter, I saw this tweet thread that read, "Do you think your boss is scary? Look at the brutal emails from the CEOs of Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and Facebook." It was absolutely from one of those content farm accounts whose replies are almost all bots. But this was still an interesting subject, and God, do these chumps sound insufferable. So I wanted to take a look through these today and try not to maul at how angry these people make me and how much more wealthy they will always be than any of us ever will. If you enjoy this video, this card at the end will take you to another one like it. Also, less than 20% of y'all are subscribed with notifications on. If you sub and hit the bell icon, you'll never miss an upload, and you can always undo it later. This is apparently an email that Steve Jobs sent to the CEO of Adobe, Bruce. Adobe is recruiting from Apple. They have hired one person already and are calling lots more. I have a standing policy with our recruiters that we don't recruit from Adobe. It seems you have a different policy. One of us must change your policy. Please let me know who. Steve. Fuck, that's kind of cold. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of down for CEO versus CEO beef. It would probably be interesting to see the very angry email exchanges that have happened over the last few decades between some of the richest people ever, you know, arguing about how to be richer than the other person. I'm not gonna lie, man, feel however you want about Steve Jobs, but that shit was cold. It's like, alright, if you want to fuck around, you can also find out, man. Steve Jobs was about to invent the fucking iPhone, dude. He was on the verge of a generational run. And Adobe is not in too many people's good graces right now. You're gonna be seeing Elon Musk cry a little bit here in this video. Elon Musk to the Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal. I definitely fucked that up so bad, I'm really sorry. Parag said to Elon, "You are free to tweet, is Twitter dying?" I believe this was in late 2022, around the time that Elon was set to buy Twitter. "You are free to tweet, is Twitter dying, or anything else about Twitter? But it's my responsibility to tell you that it's not helping me make Twitter better in the current context. Next time we speak, I'd like you to provide your perspective in the level of internal distraction right now and how it's hurting our ability to do work. I hope the Ask Me Anything will help people get to know you, to understand why you believe in Twitter, and to trust you. And I'd like to get the company to a place where we are more resilient and don't get distracted, but we aren't there right now." Elon Musk said, "What did you get done this week? I'm not joining the board. This is a waste of time. I will make an offer to take Twitter private." You know, he did have like a lot of bravado when he was going on his tirade about all this shit, but it did not end very well for him. Twitter is like a quarter of the valuation that it was around the time he bought it. It is very entertaining to measure where we are now versus then, but it has made these videos harder to record because whenever I open up links to tweets that I'm trying to read the content off of, it will sometimes just not load. It'll scroll way past the tweet that I actually need if it's in a thread like in this video. Turns out that firing all the employees has just made this site less and less functional by the day. It's incredible how much of a one-of-a-kind fuck-up Elon has managed to make out of this. This is the question mark method by Jeff Bezos, which apparently scares everyone at Amazon. "I still have an email address that customers can write to," Bezos explained. Although he doesn't typically answer those emails himself, he does read them. "I see most of those emails. I see them and I forward them to the executives in charge of the area with a question mark. It's shorthand for, 'Can you look into this? Why is this happening?'" Bezos said. "Hey, I heard thing, don't know much about it, but what the fuck is wrong with you for not being fixed yet?" I can just imagine an exec just holding their face in their hands whenever they get that on a given morning. I wonder if they have like a Deadpool on who has gotten the most of those and who's managed to last through the most question marks sent to their email. I think Bezos is just fronting when he says that he reads all of these though. If it's an email that an average customer can reach directly, then even if most people don't know about it, it's gotta be like flooded 24/7, man. I had like a little side project during my hiatus called Kwite with a Y, and I had an email inbox that I let people submit to for video ideas. I'm fucking nobody, and that wasn't my main channel. That shit got flooded every day when I was posting there. Here is an email Bob Iger sent to his employees at Disney. "Dear fellow employees," bro, you are not an employee. You run the damn ship. "As I shared with you in February, we have made the difficult decision to reduce our overall workforce by approximately approximately 7,000 jobs as part of a strategic realignment of the company, including important cost-saving measures like your ability to pay rent. We're creating a more effective, coordinated, and streamlined approach to our business, one that means we don't have to pay out benefits for several thousand of you. Over the past few months, senior leaders have been working closely with HR to assess their operational needs, and I want to give you an update on these efforts. This week, we began notifying employees whose positions are impacted by the company's workforce reductions. The difficult reality of many colleagues and friends leaving Disney is not something we take lightly. Yeah, I imagine the people getting let go are taking it pretty hard too. The company is home to the most talented and dedicated employees in the world, which is why we took them behind the shed at Old Yellerdom. So many of you bring a lifelong passion for Disney to your work here. Listen, I understand that there are situations in which, like, layoffs need to happen. It's never gonna be fun or good for the people who get laid off. But fucking Christ, if you had a lifelong passion for Disney and you got to work there, and that was the zenith of your enthusiasm for this company you've wanted to work for since you were a child, getting fired like this over an email has probably killed any spark you had. Sorry, bud, you flew too close to the Mickey Mouse-shaped sun and got burnt. In tough moments, we must always do what is required to ensure Disney can continue delivering exceptional entertainment to audiences and guests around the world. Please know that our HR partners and leaders are committed to creating a supportive and smooth process every step of the way. Smooth maybe by Montreal standards, where they never fix a pothole. Ooh, here's another one from Elon, this time speaking to Tesla employees. Subject: to everybody, with the subject to be super clear. May 31st, 2022. Everyone at Tesla is required to spend a minimum of 40 hours in the office per week. Moreover, the office must be where your actual colleagues are located, not some pseudo-remote office. If you don't show up, we will assume you have resigned. The more senior you are, the more visible must be your presence. This is why I lived in the factory so much, so that those on the line could see me working alongside them. If I had not done that, Tesla would have long have gone bankrupt. I'm not gonna lie, man, I think most of that comes from the inflated speculative value of the company and all the government tax breaks. There are, of course, companies that don't require this, but when was the last time they shipped a great new product? Oh, from Elon, that's incredible, bro. You seen that fucking Cybertruck? Have you seen what they doing to people on Fortnite who have the Cybertruck skin, man? They are getting cooked alive out there, dude. It's not even just the product is subpar in a lot of people's eyes. You get bullied for having one, even a fake one. If you brought your kid one of those tiny little toy cars that was shaped around the Cybertruck, they pull up to the rally with all their friends like fake Jeeps and shit, and they just get jumped for having something like that. This is a oldie from Mark Zuckerberg and about a TechCrunch article where a lot of stuff got leaked. Confidential. Do not share. Well, clearly that didn't last. Hey everyone. Lots of you saw the TechCrunch story over the weekend claiming that we were building a mobile phone. We're not building a phone, and I spoke at length at the Q&A on Friday about what we're actually doing. It's frustrating and destructive anyone thought it was okay to say this to anyone outside of the company. This was an act of betrayal. You know, if Mark wrote this himself, he was kind of cooking. The prose here is dramatic. The fact the story was inaccurate doesn't make it any better. I mean, if it was a fake, was it a real source leaking it, or was it just like someone trying to stir some shit? Now we're in a more precarious position with companies in the mobile space who should be our partners because they now think we're competitors. I'm asking whoever leaked this to resign immediately. If you believe that it's ever appropriate to leak internal information, you should leave. If you don't resign, we will almost certainly find out who you are anyways. Jesus, Mark. This dude has always had ambitions of just being a big brother figure. He will know everything there is to know about you, employee or customer. Imagine if you were just already tendering your resignation around this time by complete coincidence, and then you get this internal memo and you're like, dude, I was a week away from leaving. And Mark sees that you've handed in your resignation conveniently around this time and is all, yep, it was that fucker. We're blackballing him from the entire tech industry, and you were just trying to move to a higher paying position the whole time. We are a company that promotes openness and transparency, both in the world at large and here internally at Facebook. You can tell this is over a decade old. The cost of an open culture is we have to protect the confidential information we share internally, including this email, which got leaked. Let's commit to maintaining complete confidentiality about the company. No exceptions. If you can't handle that, then just leave. Bro, he really don't give a fuck. We have too much social good to build to have to deal with this. I mean, at least he knows he has to build it first. You know, I won't lie, Mark is actually kind of cooking recently. Don't get me wrong, he's still Mark Zuckerberg, but he is having a pretty effective new propaganda campaign. There's the videos of him training MMA, saying he'll beat up Elon Musk for real. There's him in a suit just wakeboarding, like actually him doing it. That Photoshop of him with facial hair just went platinum and did wonders for our collective vision of him. I just never thought of him as the guy to put so much work into his personal brand, but whoever he's got running that shit is doing something right. Satya Nadella, that is the CEO of Google if you didn't know, speaking to members of the OpenAI board of directors, which if you don't know, those are the guys behind ChatGPT and the like, including Including GPT-4, it is close-sourced primarily to serve Microsoft's proprietary business interests. In fact, as the November 2023 drama unfolded, you know, hearing the term drama used in corporate exec meetings the same way we might about, like, YouTube channels, it's a little funny. The culture starts at the bottom and infects the way up the ladder. Microsoft's CEO boasted that it wouldn't matter if OpenAI disappeared tomorrow. He explained that we have all the intellectual property rights and all the capacity. We have the people. We have the computing capacity. We have the data. We have everything. We are below them, above them, around them. Christ, man, tech CEOs are fucking nuts! You know, in the impending era of AI, this is a really nice and comforting thing to read. Microsoft boasting that we don't need those OpenAI schlubs anymore. We have all the power in our fingertips. I'm not sure if I'm reading the tone on this right, though. Like, I can't tell if Nadella is happy about this because they're, like, in partnership with Microsoft, or if he is shitting himself. They're like, fuck, dude, they have so much shit on us, we are screwed! I don't know which is funnier, and especially I don't know which one's worse. This is the Amazon CEO, Andy Jassy, where he issues strict instructions to employees. It's past the time to disagree and commit, he said in 2023. And if you can't disagree and commit, I also understand that, but it's probably not going to work out for you at Amazon, because we are going back to the office at least 3 days a week. Actually, that's not terrible. It's not right for all of our teammates to be in 3 days a week and for people to refuse to do so. Okay, maybe I'm just stupid, but the wording just tripped me up at the very end there. Here's another one from CEO of Apple, Tim Apple. Dear team, it was great to connect with you at the global employee meeting on Friday. There was much to celebrate, from our remarkable new product lineup to our values-driven work around climate change, racial equity, and privacy. It was a good opportunity to reflect on our many accomplishments and to have a discussion about what's been on your mind. I'm writing today because I've heard from so many of you we were incredibly frustrated to see the contents of the meeting leaked to reporters. I want you to know I share your frustration. These opportunities to connect as a team are really important, but they only work if we can trust that content will stay within Apple. I want to reassure you we are doing everything in our power to identify those who leaked. As you know, we do not tolerate disclosures of confidential information. You know, like this leaked confidential email where they're complaining about leaked confidential information. The fact that we are reading a lot of these emails means that they did not plug the issue. We know leakers constitute a small number of people who saw this email for sure. We also know people who leak information do not belong here. The way CEOs talk about people who don't belong here is so menacing. Like just some shadow organization shit where they're gonna make you disappear. Not like fire you and just like make you find a new job. Just wiping out your bloodline and any proof of them ever existing. Like, bro, you're gonna get Men in Black flashed if you knew who this person was at any point. You won't even notice that there's a hole in your life where they used to be. This is the Google CEO firing 10,000 people. First, we will align our cost structure with our revenue and where we see customer demand. Today, we are making changes that will result in the reduction of our overall workforce by 10,000 jobs through the end of financial year 2023, quarter 3. This represents less than 5% of our total employee base. Yeah, we're cutting off like 10,000 of y'all, but hey, don't worry, you didn't mean shit anyways. It's important to note that while we are eliminating roles in some areas, we will continue to hire in key strategic areas. You know, materially, a lot of this has just been a lot of grim reads of people losing their jobs. So for our last letter, let's look at something that will make you feel a negative emotion, just a different one instead of frustration. This might make you a little sad. This is an email that Steve Jobs sent to himself a year before he died. I grow little of the food I eat, and of the little I do grow, I did not breed or perfect the seeds. I do not make my own clothing. I speak a language I did not invent or refine. I did not discover the mathematics I use. I am protected by freedoms and laws I did not conceive of or legislate and do not enforce or adjudicate. I am moved by music I did not create myself. When I needed medical attention, I was helpless to help myself survive. I did not invent the transistor, the microprocessor, object-oriented programming, or most of the technology I work with. I love and admire my species, living and dead, and am totally dependent on them for my life and well-being. Sent from my iPad. It is like a meditation on the social nature of humanity and how that's why we survive, how we made it to the top of the food chain by being a collective. But also it was sent from an iPad. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. That card I mentioned should be on screen. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe with notifications on if you enjoyed. Anyways, this has been Kwite, and I will see y'all next time.